So you're thinking about moving to Redlands, California. Well, this video is actually not about real estate and homes on the market. It's about living in Redlands and what you can expect in terms of daily life, where to eat, where to shop, where to exercise, what the schools are like, hospitals. Please do stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to share with you at the end a couple different reasons why I think Redlands has been such an established community here in Southern California. So let's get started. If this is your first time to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the market here in Redlands. Whether you are moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we would love to help you make that smooth move to Redlands, California. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this video is actually all about just what life is like in Redlands, what you can expect coming into town, where you should stay, and so on. Now, I imagine that perhaps many of you are considering a move from the actual west coast of California. Maybe you're in LA County somewhere, or down south in San Diego, or perhaps up north in the Bay, and you just can't afford to buy, right? Prices are just through the roof, and they're actually pretty crazy out here in Redlands as well. But I imagine it's a lot more affordable to buy here in Redlands than it is in those major cities. Now, if you're coming from across the country or the Midwest, or perhaps even international, and you've seen some of my other videos about the actual real estate on the market, and you just want to know what life is like in Redlands and the surrounding communities, then let's go ahead and just jump into my computer and get started. Okay, so here we are in my computer on Google Maps, and you'll notice on my screen here, this dotted red line outlining Redlands, California. Now, you may be wondering about this little hole, perhaps a donut hole in Northwest Redlands, and why that's like that. I can explain that a little bit later. Well, not in great detail, but here we go. Okay, so here's Redlands. And let's say you're flying into town. I would recommend Ontario International Airport, okay? Just a straight shot from the 10 from Redlands to Ontario. Here's the airport right here. Smaller size airport, but definitely, major airlines fly there. You won't find any trouble finding flights that will connect to Ontario. Now, depending how far you're coming, you can get a direct flight there, from Chicago and Dallas and Denver, those areas, Seattle, for sure. But if you're coming from the East Coast, New York, Florida, you're gonna have to connect somewhere. But definitely would recommend Ontario over coming into LAX. LAX is out here. Here's downtown. The airport is right there. LAX, although they're constantly working on it, is mostly a hot mess. And the savings that you would have flying into LAX probably don't outweigh the agony of just flying in there and getting through all the congestion and the traffic. And flying to LAX, you have about double the mileage than you would have if you flew into Ontario and made your way to Redlands. You do also have a couple options, so do some research. You have John Wayne Airport close to Disneyland. That could work for you, as well as coming out to Palm Springs. Again, smaller airports, you may have to pay a bit of a premium on your airfare, but it's just a matter of how much you value, just getting through an airport, congestion and traffic and things like that. Now, if you're driving into town, pretty simple, just punch in your Redlands, California to your Google Maps or Waze or whatever you use. I would definitely recommend always using your GPS. You never know what kind of accidents or constructions may pop up even in the middle of the night. They may be doing road work that could affect your commute to Redlands. Just a quick little aside, depending on where you're coming from in the country, here in Southern California, we refer to the freeways as and then the number, like the 10, the 215, the 15, the 405, whatever it may be. We don't say I-80 or Interstate 15 or Routes 215. I know that kind of varies from region to region across the country, but just so you're aware, that's kind of how most people refer to the freeways and highways around Southern California. Probably already done this, or hopefully you will soon. Where to stay in Redlands. There are a great number of hotels, trouble finding availability. You can see here, the first one I would recommend is Ayers Hotel Redlands. When my wife and I had our wedding, that was like where we encourage our guests to stay, and they all got a group rate staying at the Ayers Hotel. You also have a couple more, the Country Inn and Suites. I'd also recommend the Home 2 Suites. I had to stay there one night a couple years back, and it worked out just fine. You also do have Airbnb. I did a quick search on the kinds of availability on Airbnb throughout town, and depending on if you're going for a private room in a house or a private suite at a property, or, the entire home, it ranges from about 90 to 95 bucks on the low end to 200 or more per night. Let's say you're just coming into town and you are a little bit hangry, and the first thing you need to do is find a bite to eat. I do have a list of a little bit more sit-down type restaurants, but these places I would recommend if you're just looking for a quick bite, just to satisfy your hunger, to get rid of that hunger headache you might have, so you can enjoy your time here in Redlands. The first place I would recommend is Nick's Burgers, family friendly. Nick's has been around town for decades at this point. Family owned and operated. It's a wonderful Greek family. They use the freshest ingredients to make hungry for burgers, gyros, sandwiches, fries, zucchini, fried mushrooms, all kinds of healthy salad options as well. So that would be the first place I would recommend. As you can see here, as we kind of scroll out, you're going to see all the major, type chains where you could just grab a quick bite. But I would recommend Nick's Burgers first over to those types of places where you can pretty much get anywhere. Another place I'd recommend is Savarino's. If you're in for a sandwich, Savarino's is, now State Street is a very popular and busy part of downtown Redlands, but Savarino's is actually on the other side of State Street. Savarino's Italian Deli and Market. Really good subs, hot sandwiches, cold sandwiches, bag of chips, grab a soda. Really good little spot to grab a bite. If you're more into a salad, perhaps some coffee, like I might be, to get rid of perhaps a little caffeine deficit, then I would recommend, we do have about 15 different Starbucks in town, but again, you can get that anywhere. I would head to this place where we used to live. There's a shopping center, also right off of Alabama, up near Barton Road. Stell Coffee and Tea. Okay, there's a Stater Brothers right here. It's like a strip mall, grocery, supermarket, as well as several other shops. A pho restaurant right here, but Stell Coffee and Tea. Great coffee, great salads. They even actually have a couple beers on top there where you can just kind of relax. Another place I'd recommend to grab a quick bite is a rather new place downtown called Cheese Walla, if you're into grilled cheese sandwiches, and not just like your basic, just cheese, bread, whatever. It's actually a high school basketball teammate of mine. He started just this like pop-up, easy up grilled cheese making company. This is like 6-7 years ago now at this point, where he just started selling them Saturday farmers market, or back then it was market night on Thursday. And now he actually has his brick and mortar shop. It's actually downtown at the Orange Street Alley. Right there it says Cheese Walla Sandwich with a couple dollar signs. You'll get your sandwich and some tater tots and a soda for probably about 15 bucks, somewhere in there. He actually also just opened up the bar area of his establishment within the last 2-3 months. So you can order your sandwich and then just head down the hall, order up a beer, wine, cocktail, whatever, and enjoy the game. So a great little place to grab a bite. You also have Cuca's. Cuca's is a very good local Mexican option. I think they have about 6 or 7 different locations, a couple sit down options, and one downtown right on the boulevard right here, Kuka's. You just walk up right to the window. You can call ahead and order if you need to. No, I don't think they do online ordering, but you can call ahead if you want, but they're normally pretty quick. They just remodeled that whole building right there. So a good option to grab a quick bite. And of course, there is Baker's. Now, Baker's, you probably never heard of, is a fast food joint. But it's only in Riverside and San Bernardino County. So if you come up the boulevard a little bit here, right next to Redlands High School, you'll find Baker's. Baker's, you can get cheeseburgers, French fries, as well as burritos, tacos, tostadas. Just a really good twin kitchen type fast food restaurant. Really good for just a quick bite. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily for your first dinner, but you'll see Baker's all around San Bernardino and Riverside County. If you're a coffee fiend, I already talked about Stell's Cafe. Stell's actually has another location now. So if we come up further up the boulevard, past Ford Park here, you come really close to the freeway, the 10. And right next to La Velada is, now the location, so La Velada is actually more on this corner, and Stell is actually on like this side of the building. They don't quite have the full menu in terms of their sandwich. Like they can make the sandwiches that they have at their first location, they put them in a wrap. But again, really good place just to pop in and grab a quick coffee. Oh, and Olive Avenue Market. Now this place is like a little hidden gem of Redlands. Olive Avenue Market, really good coffee options. It's not like a grocery store, just like a quick little convenience market. They have seating out front and on the side of the building. Really good, like little prepared wraps and sandwiches. So just something to grab on the go. Olive Avenue Market, I think, has been there for like almost 100 years. So definitely Redlands staple. Now, as far as sit down restaurants, like let's say you've actually settled into your day, you went to your hotel, Airbnb, showered, and now you want to know where to eat. Probably the two best restaurants. They are a little bit pricey, probably worth it. The first I would recommend is called Caprice. Caprice is right middle of downtown, on the corner of State Street and 5th. There's Caprice, fine dining. You can get a really good steak, pastas, and also really good vegetarian options as well. And then the other, as far as like fine dining, I'd recommend in Redlands is called Citron, here at the corner of, or it's like a triangle intersection. The corner of Citrus and Olive here is Citron. They recently relocated their restaurant here. They moved probably 3 or 4 blocks. They were just on the other side of State Street over on Orange. Really good food, really good wine selection. That might be more of a like special like anniversary type setting for you. That's kind of how we treat it. But we love Citron as well. Now, other restaurants, this is a favorite of ours, Oscar's Mexican Food. Oscar's has been around my entire life. My family shares a pretty good story how I was a 1-year-old and having a fit, and there was a customer who wasn't too happy about having a screaming baby in the restaurant. And well, let's just say my dad got in this lady's face after she made a comment and completely embarrassed my mom. So that one, so they actually moved just a couple years before COVID. They used to be right in here closer to State Street, but this is actually a really good location. It was kind of hidden back in here, but Oscar, yeah, there's Oscar's. Really good Mexican restaurant, highly recommend. Benjarong. If you're into Thai food, Benjarong is really close to one of Redlands' biggest employers, Esri. But Benjarong Thai cuisine, if you're into Thai food, really, really good. Highly recommend. If you're going with a couple people, you may order your own thing, but if you have 3, 4, more than 5 people, I would talk about what you want to order, right? Family style sharing, so everybody can have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Eureka Burger is another good option. Eureka Burger is like a mini chain in Southern California, but here in Redlands, it's right off Eureka, actually. That's just good burgers, full bar, fairly crowded, so make sure you get a reservation if you want to go to Eureka Burger. Nice little spot. Okay, so just wrapped up dinner. You're thinking, let's get some ice cream. A couple little specialty ice cream places. The first is called A La Menu Ice Cream right here on Citrus. So here's the Orange Street Alley on the other side, right there on Citrus. All kinds of specialty ice cream, really decadent. I know a couple friends of mine, whenever they get back to Redlands, they live elsewhere now, but whenever they get back to Redlands, they for sure go to A La Menu to get their ice cream. There's another place, I think it's called Nicho's, right up here on State Street. The Nicho's or Nico's? Yeah, Nicho's ice cream. We also have, the Cold Stone is on the other side of town, over by Mountain Grove, and Baskin Robbins right there for some ice cream. Okay, you just woke up and now you're hungry. You need a brunch place. Now, probably the most popular brunch spot in Redlands is Carolyn's Cafe. Carolyn's Cafe, if you come downtown, just follow Citrus. Citrus turns into Brookside right here. Hang a right on San Mateo. There you have Carolyn's Cafe. Okay, see there, it opens at 7 a.m. Saturday if you want. Really good spot, but again, get there early so you don't have to wait too long. Really good coffee cake, coffee, omelets, French toast, pancakes, you name it. And then the other brunch spot is Martha Green's Eating Room. So head all the way back downtown, right here on Citrus, Martha Green's Eating Room. Again, really, really good food. I'm not sure where in the South Martha Green is from. Lived in Redlands a while, but her roots come from the South, so somewhere. Drinks. Where to get drinks in Redlands? Well, let's start with a couple breweries. First of all, you may have heard of this one if you're at all familiar with Redlands. Hangar 24, so you need to zoom out a little bit. See, you're way out here. Okay, Redlands has a tiny little private airport and Redlands Municipal Airport right there. Right across the street from the airport is Hangar 24. This is what Hangar 24 looks like. Really good beer. As you can tell as you're walking in there. They don't always have, little food trucks and vendors there, but mostly on the weekends, you do have food options there. It's not a bar, right? It's a tasting room. They have the outdoor patio, hot summer days. They have the misters out there so you don't get too hot. So I think it closes like 8, 9 p.m., somewhere in there, but really good beer. Now, a couple other breweries. The next one is called Escape. Now, Escape has a new location. It's actually a second location. Escape Craft Brewery. Again, really good beers, a lot of space. They have a nice little patio area, as well as a lot of indoor space. So if it's a hot summer day, you can find a spot in there just to kind of take the load off and enjoy some craft beers. And then right across the parking lot here, you have J. Riley Distillery. These two opened up, I think, about around the same time, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Now, Escape's original location, like I said, is still open, a little bit on the other side of town. So come down the boulevard, hang a left on Nevada, and here's Escape's. This is like a whole strip mall. There's a gymnastics company, gymnastics center, gym, is what I guess you'd call it, right here on the other side of the strip mall, but that's Escape's other location. All kinds of board games and puzzles and arcade style stuff to hang out and have fun with. Really kid friendly, dog friendly if you want to bring the whole family. And you can, order up a pizza, bring in your food, and oftentimes they have food trucks or food options around the back of their location as well. Now, the third brewery is called Ritual. And for Ritual, you actually do have to head out towards a little bit of the outskirts of Redlands. California, hang a left on Lagonia. And really this is, all these buildings out here are like the Amazon, fulfillment center buildings. So no homes or anything, or a ton of small businesses, but this brewery is their great beer. I think they're open till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. So not quite a bar, but still, an option to go and enjoy a couple beers. Okay, so you've had your food, dessert, couple drinks. You woke up the next morning and you're thinking, okay, I should probably hit the gym. Now, most of these places, I'm sure will offer, either 1 day, 2 or 3 day guest pass. But we do have LA, let's start with LA Fitness. This is the gym I go to. LA Fitness is up right by that other location of Stell. Here's LA Fitness right next to Ford Park. Full service gym, great gym, except when the saunas aren't working. Other one is 24-Hour Fitness. 24-Hour Fitness is in the Mountain Grove area, right by this Nike factory store. There's 24-Hour Fitness, like the name suggests, always open 24 hours. Now, this one is probably the newest, like full service gym. Not quite sure what the monthly rate is for 24-Hour Fitness. I pay $29.99 at LA Fitness per month for my gym. There is another gym out towards Hangar 24 area of town. Okay, here's Stater Brothers. Across this Lagonia from Stater Brothers is another gym called Fitness 19. I think they're a little bit cheaper than LA Fitness or 24-Hour Fitness. Again, I'm pretty sure all those places offer a complimentary day pass or 2 or 3 day passes. But then there's all kinds of, not like full service gyms, but more like studio businesses. Like Orange Theory is one. I've actually never been to Orange Theory, but let's see, Orange Theory Sprouts right in here. Orange Theory, yeah, there it is. Orange Theory Fitness. I think you have a couple options on Orange Theory. You can either pay by class, like you pay $20 and go work out for an hour, or you can pay like the monthly subscription and then you only pay like $5 a class. So depending on what you choose on that. Cycle Bar is, I think this place actually may have shut down and it's something different now. Not quite sure on Cycle Bar. There is another kind of similar to Orange Theory. It does like group class workouts downtown on Citrus. The Fort at Energy Lab. So I'll walk by there sometimes early in the morning or in the afternoon, whatever. And there's music going. People are getting their workouts in. And then also, now this is something new. I've never been. Redlands has a rock climbing gym called Flowstone Climbing on 1411 State Street. There it is, Flowstone Climbing. I've been rock climbing a couple times with my brother out in LA, and we need to do this. So if you're into rock climbing, here's a spot for you. Now let's get into shopping. Downtown Redlands, all kinds of shops. First, just like your simple, straightforward, you forgot your toothbrush, your toiletries, whatever. There's a CVS right here. Now this is connected. This whole thing is not CVS. There used to be Redlands Mall right here, but the mall was basically shut down like 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago at this point. But CVS still connects to the mall, still operates. This mall is actually going to be torn down pretty soon, and they're going to be putting in condos. So a lot more people are going to be moving to Redlands right here downtown. So CVS, drugstore, prescriptions, just quick in and out. Now, as far as other shopping, we have a few clothes stores up and down State Street. We got Nectar Clothing. There's Jewelers, Ozell Jewelers, Emerson Fine Jewelry. There's a toy store right here. I don't know why the name is not popping up. I believe it is called Jack's Toy Store. Also have JD Myers clothes. So there's JD Myers, there's like home decor as well as clothing. She's been there forever, probably going on 25, 30 years at this point. So all kinds of shops up and down State Street. And then if we zoom out and go to the other side of town, here we have Mountain Grove and Citrus Plaza. Now the Citrus Plaza, so like the south part of this shopping area was put in about 20 years ago. Target, Kohl's, Barnes & Noble, Starbucks, Jamba Juice, Bevmo, Petco, like all those kinds of shops are here. And then if you go directly behind Target and Kohl's, there's a brand new I guess brand new, probably within the last 5-6 years. Harkins Movie Theaters was put in there, okay, with a whole bunch of more shopping in here. We already pointed out the 24-Hour Fitness over here. There's the Nike factory store, all kinds of restaurants. There's Chipotle in here, Habit Burger Grill. There's a Yogurt Land. So anything you can imagine, it is in here. There's Gap, Ulta Beauty, and then a whole bunch of apartments right here. And then if you just go on the other side of Alabama, there's a Men's Warehouse, a couple restaurants. So as you can see, quite a bit to offer here in Redlands. Okay, so we just talked about Harkins Theater. Now there is another movie theater in Redlands. So when Harkins came to town, it kind of put Krikorian the Crick, as we used to call it, out of business for a little bit. So let's see. Now it's called Look Cinemas in Redlands. Reinvented themselves. Harkins has like 16. I think Look still has like theaters, but what they have, what Harkins doesn't, is like a sit down and meal waitering service for you to enjoy while you watch your movie. And the other huge part of entertainment aspect here in Redlands is the Redlands Bowl, which you'll see right here, has a, I would say, curated summer schedule every year where all kinds of, performers come in, mostly concerts, right? I think the Redlands Symphony performs every year, but all kinds of, tribute bands as well as other performances. So really, really cool spot. The Redlands Bowl, really active summer, and also plays host every year to graduation ceremonies for the 3 major high schools in Redlands, as well as I think a couple of the private Christian schools in town, and as well as Orangewood. So really cool spot. I mean, this historic part, this neighborhood around here, really, really cool homes. These are the old style Victorian homes that have been here more than 100 years, and you can just walk to your summer entertainment. Pretty cool. Not a lot of towns have that, I don't think. Now let's talk about schools. Okay, Redlands Unified School District. Now here is the Redlands Unified coverage map, but you can see more of Redlands is covered by Redlands Unified, right? So border between Loma Linda and Redlands is somewhere in here. But you can see a lot of the students that live in this area are Redlands Unified School District students. We have 3 comprehensive high schools: the original Redlands High School, Redlands East Valley High School, and Citrus Valley High School. Then we have a continuation school, Orangewood. There are 4 middle schools. There are 17 elementary schools, that progress all the way through to graduation. You can see the scores by different schools and areas in town. I think overall Niche ranks Redlands Unified as the best school district in San Bernardino County and gives it an overall rating of A. So 16 elementary schools. There also is adult school, online school, if you want to pursue that for your kids, as well as RISE, which is a program basically for students who need to be homeschooled for either part of the school year or an extended part of the school year. Redlands Unified does offer that. Overall, Redlands Unified has a 22-to-1 student to teacher ratio, and each comprehensive high school has really good AP programs. So if your student wants to pursue getting college credit in high school, preparing them for their education beyond high school, that those opportunities are definitely out there for them. Okay, let's jump back to the Google map and talk a little bit about hospitals. Now, Redlands does have Redlands Community Hospital right on the west side of town here on Terracina Boulevard. Redlands was recently ranked 4 out of 5 stars, which only about 1/3 of the hospitals across the country can say they have 4 out of 5 stars. Really good emergency room. They added so when I was in high school, actually, I had a situation where I was in the hospital for 2 or 3 days, and I got to see the the new wing of the hospital being built. So it's expanded. That was 20 years ago, 17, 18 years ago at this point. So a great local community hospital. I'm sure every day, I don't really know, but if they do have situations where they need more specialized healthcare in terms of surgery or care or whatever, it's a very short trip right out of Redlands, west to Redlands into Loma Linda at the Loma Linda University Medical Center and Children's Hospital. All over Southern California come to Loma Linda. Really outstanding children's hospital. So, God forbid, something terrible happens to your children, they're going to be well taken care of. here at Loma Linda. Loma Linda does have a medical school. It is a teaching hospital. Okay, so hopefully that gives you, just kind of an overview look at Redlands and where, places I would recommend to grab a bite, grab a drink, description of the schools, neighborhoods, or not so much the neighborhoods. You can see that in my other videos. So you can look at the actual real estate. This video is all just about what is Redlands about as a whole. One thing that I'm remembering to add now is just the amount of parks, right? Redlands has, we kind of traced over Ford Park here. Ford Park has a dog park, great area to bring the kids. Prospect Park, which you'll see right here, is an amazing part of Redlands. So much history and just like unbelievably lucky that's part of Redlands. All the kids, they go and take pictures right before prom and homecoming right here in front of Prospect Park. And you also have, actually creeping over here into, this is in Loma Linda, there is a new park called the Citrus Trails Community Park, and there's a dog park at the bottom of it right here. Anything you could ask for your kids. A lot of benches for the parents to sit and observe and kind of keep an eye on the kids. Bathrooms over here. It is fairly new, so not a ton of shade. So on those really hot summer days, you might consider going elsewhere, but another really good park right there. And then the last one I want to show you would be Sylvan Park, right next to the University of Redlands. Sylvan Park, a lot of celebrations here for 4th of July. I'll get into U of R in one of my other videos. So I hope that gives you a pretty good feel for what life is like in Redlands. Again, if you're ever considering coming to town, please don't hesitate to reach out. Like I said, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'd love to help you make that move to Redlands.